G'day guys, Jacob Skeppers here from JPS Health and Fitness, here with Mr. Joshua Cakitaki, our Head of Education, and we're going to talk to you about the 3 biggest fat loss myths.
Let's talk about it, Jacob.
Let's talk about it, sponsored by Krispy Kreme. So, number 1, carbohydrates at night. Where does this myth come from? Well, a lot of people think that our metabolism or metabolic rate slows down when we go to bed, when in actual fact, it doesn't. And our specific nutrient timing or timing of our carbohydrates doesn't actually affect whether or not we gain weight. What affects our long-term weight management and whether or not we gain or lose fat is our overall energy balance.
Exactly right. So if it suits your lifestyle to eat the majority of your carbohydrates in the night time, then do that. Coming back to the major point, it's about the overall energy intake, not only for that day, but throughout the whole week, months and years.
And when we refer to energy intake, we're talking specifically about how many calories you're consuming per day. And in terms of fat loss, we want to be creating a calorie deficit. So whether or not you're consuming carbohydrates at night or in the morning, provided they're within your total calorie limits for the day to create that energy deficit, it really doesn't matter. It's a matter of personal preference, as Josh said.
Absolutely.
Myth number 2, cardio for fat loss. Where does this myth come from, Josh?
So this pretty much comes from people feeling leaner when they're doing cardio. Although cardio is going to help you burn calories, 100% will help you burn calories and get you leaner, it's not necessary to get lean or to lose body fat.
And that's 100% spot on. So when we talk about fat loss, we have a hierarchy of things in order of importance, most important being eating Krispy Kremes. But the most important thing for whether or not you lose weight is your energy balance, and the primary way we control that is through our diet. It's very hard to control our energy expenditure from day to day, and although performing cardio is great in terms of increasing how many calories you burn a day, the primary driver of fat loss is what goes in your mouth, not necessarily how many calories you're burning per day through exercise. And we can create a calorie deficit without any formal cardio whatsoever.
Yes.
Is it a great thing to implement into your lifestyle, Josh?
Absolutely. It has its context. So for someone who's a desk jockey, I would 100% encourage them to get up and start walking, do half an hour of walking per day. But if someone's extremely active already and they just want to lose a bit of fat, they're probably not going to benefit that much from doing cardio. And there's always the old adage that you can't out-train a bad diet.
And that's 100% spot on. So cardio is not necessarily good or bad, it's context dependent. For health benefits, it's fantastic, but is it necessary for fat loss? Answer is no, guys. The 3rd myth is clean eating. We've all done this one before.
Haven't we?
And what is clean eating? So clean eating is labeling foods, identifying some foods as on plan or clean, and then some foods as being off plan and dirty. Now, why are foods clean? Well, typically a clean food is something that's unprocessed, high in fiber, protein, and so forth. And people will consume a diet that's full of those foods. Now, again, clean foods don't actually exist unless you're washing them with Ajax. Windex and Ajax. Clean foods don't exist. All foods have calories. All foods have macronutrients, so protein, carbohydrates, and fat. All foods have vitamins, minerals, and fiber.
Yeah.
Now, again, what determines whether or not we lose weight is our energy balance. So how many calories are we eating? As I said, all foods have calories. So there is no such thing as a clean food. Why do clean diets help people lose weight, Josh?
Often clean diets are helping people lose weight just because, one, they're going to be low in calories. That's a fact. So Jacob mentioned labeling foods by, whether unprocessed. Usually people are going to label clean foods as, the calorie density. So how many calories are in it per how much volume of food. So they will work because they're going to be lower in calories, but that's just coming back to our overarching theme, which is it's going to come back to energy balance.
Mm-hmm. And as we've seen, Joshy can eat a Krispy Kreme and still lose weight. There it is. Provided that he's fitting that within his total calorie intake. So guys, they're the 3 biggest fat loss myths that we think exist today. Eating carbohydrates at night, you don't need to eat them at any specific time of the day. Cardio for fat loss, it isn't necessary. Do it as you please, just control your calorie intake. And clean eating. So good and bad foods don't exist, guys. If you have any questions or a topic that you'd like us to discuss, hit us up below. And until then, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.